this. So I'm going to be taking these out and then start cleaning this up so I can put 4 shelves back and we'll have some storage space in here and pretty it up. So I don't know if you remember am I using this Goldblatt tool before, but it's really good. You just put it right up in there, tap it in with the hammer, and then it pulls that piece out without damaging the drywall. So this has been great. I've used this tool a bunch so far for taking out trim work and taking out all sorts of stuff. So it has been great. So anyway, again, I'm not sponsored by anybody, and no one's paying me to use this. Not paying me to say this thing is great. I spent my own money on this. I'll drop a link to it below along with everything else that I've been doing. And then that way you can follow the link if you find it interesting. I will say, as usual, I make a penny or two if you buy it off Amazon through one of my links. But again, I'm not sponsored. I'm not paying anyone, or no one's paying me to say it. But so we're going to be taking these out, this one, and this one. And the other thing I have on order that I'm waiting for is a room-to-room pass-through. So this closet's staying a little bit warm, so I want the air to basically go and exhaust through there into the hall outside, so that way the hot air will escape there and a little cool air will come in underneath the doors, and that way it can circulate. So I don't need a vented or powered fan, just a little pass through at the top of the wall. So I'm waiting on that to arrive. But that's pretty much it. Just a quick tool update from a second ago. So that's what I did is I pounded it in with a hammer on the back side here, and then it just, see if I can do this. It just peels it right off. Get on a little bit further. Yeah, see how it pops right off? And no damage to the drywall at all. There you go. Perfect. This thing's awesome. Much better than using a hammer with this small little piece and then you knock a hole in the wall. This thing saves walls, saves trim. Talk to you later. Bye. Okay, I've about got the pass through there for the network room. It actually works pretty good already. I just cut the one side of the drywall out, cut the other side of the drywall out, and this is from Tamarack Technologies. Again, not sponsored. This is what I spent my own money on. And it slips together. It's a coupling. So one from one side, one from the other. I'll take you up there and look at it real quick. When I cut through the drywall, I got a little bit of the corner popped out, so I got to patch that up. But these two pieces just slip together super easy. So you have a shim or a piece from the outside that mates to the piece from the inside. It's not perfect, but once it's up there, it'll look perfect. So what I'm going to do though is I have some of this leftover. I know this is really like a horrible video. I have some of this leftover UV resistant AC tape. This stuff is great. It sticks to freaking everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this tape right here so I can seal up all these gaps. So that way nothing's flowing into the wall. Then I'm going to put a little bit of tape right around here. And then I'm going to put the grill over it. You'll never see it. And it'll be nice and sealed from both sides of the wall and hold firm. It has 2 grills, and I'm trying not to trip and fall here. And kind of, as you see, up in this little corner, it has a it's cardboard, but it's a groove mesh. So basically, it'll dampen noise and light that's coming through there. So it'll just slip right up in there before I put the grill on. And the grill is basically looks like this. So again, the tape will be up under here where I kind of tape it down and the inside, and you'll never see it. It'll look really good. Now, the reason I'm doing this a little janky and doing it vertically instead of horizontally is that there's a stud wall here for this. And then they did a secondary stud here, which, because they did 2 studs so close, I'm wondering if it's possible structural. So I didn't want to even touch either of the studs. And then there's another stud here. And then I think the closet in the master bedroom, the back of the closet starts here because there was another stud here. So if I wanted to do it horizontally the way it's supposed to be properly done, I would have had to cut the stud here and then box it all out and do a bunch of drywall work. So here, I just decided to do it vertically, and it's already working really, really well. I can feel heat coming out just from this, and the doors are open. So it's going to work exactly as I intended. It's going to look pretty good, and it's functional. Yeah, I got to do a little touch up because originally my stud finder found a stud here and then a stud here, and it kept kind of wavering, and I wasn't quite sure where it was. So what I did was I cut a small hole here, so that way I could figure out where exactly the stud was there and where exactly the stud was there. And that's when I measured it. It's only 11 inches, and this is an 8 by 14. So I just said, screw it, too easy. We'll just do it horizontally. But because that's where I marked it off to originally do it, I just got to do a little touch-up paint. Super easy. Works as intended. Good product. And again, I'm not sponsored, but I'll throw the link down below in case you're interested in doing something like this. It works really good. It's actually intended for if you have a bedroom like the guest bedroom here or the master bedroom over here, and it's overpressured in one area, you can put it at the top of the doorway, and any extra pressure will flow through back to your return. So that's what it's intended for, but this actually ends up working perfectly just to allow the heat that's in here to rise and exit the room and then pull cold air from underneath the door. And again, it's passive. They do make some that are active. So if it detects a certain temperature in one area versus the other area, it'll actually turn a fan on. Significantly more expensive, but it may work really well in your application. But for me, all I needed was just this pass through to allow air to circulate, heat to move out, and air to come in. Now, I want to point out something. So here's my 2 smoke detectors. I'm going to be replacing this one shortly. Yeah, I've got a bunch of gunk under my nails. Sorry, folks. This was actually from pruning. Let's see. Refocus. Okay, so I'm going to be replacing this one here, and this one is for the alarm system. My finger keeps taking it out of focus. Sorry. There we go. The one that's over here, the closer one there, is for the alarm system. I've actually already replaced that as I've been upgrading the alarm. I'm going to be getting into the alarm and security and a bunch of stuff in another video series. But I've already replaced that one, and I'm going to be replacing that one. If you don't remember, or maybe you do remember from the original, the home inspection report called out that there was no hardwired smoke detectors and there was no carbon monoxide detectors in the house. He was actually wrong about that. That alarm system was hardwired, but it wasn't being used. Dang it. Sorry. And then the other one over here is actually hardwired too, but there are no carbon monoxide detectors. So I'm going to be replacing carbon monoxide detectors today. Well, I'm going to be replacing the smoke detectors, but I'm replacing it with smoke and carbon monoxide detector. Anyway, the whole point of what I'm trying to tell you though is this heat is coming out here to these 2 smoke detectors, smoke carbon in a few minutes. So dust may come out of there and interfere with this and give me false positives. I don't think it's going to do that because it's not an active blowing source, but the alarm companies and the smoke detector companies say, do not put smoke and fire detectors next to within, I think, 36 inches of a ventilation source or a ceiling fan or a register. I'm sorry, return, not a register. And that's definitely within 36 inches, but because it's passive and not active, I don't think it's going to cause an issue. But I just wanted to point that out because a lot of these freaking things, and I'm going to get into this, are installed in the wrong places and houses and stuff like that. And people get false positives and blame the smoke detector company, and they call it a piece of trash, and it's because it was not installed right. So anyway, I'll get into that, but I did want to call out that this is already working. I definitely know this is working. I'm going to do a little touch-up paint, but that may cause false positives. I doubt it. But if it does, I'm not going to be overly shocked, and I'm not going to go around blaming the smoke detector company for it because I was aware of that. So anyway, I'll get into the smoke detectors, the replacement, and but this is almost done. I just got to tape it up and seal it really good, and then put the mesh in and the grates on, and that is done. And then I've already started a little bit of the drywall patching up here. I'm probably going to end up repainting all this so it looks nice and brand new and neat. But that's where we are. Talk to you later. Bye.